Joining me now, CBS News Congressional Correspondent Scott MacFarlane. And Scott, we heard the president talk about his Supreme Court nominee, Ketanji Brown Jackson, in his State of the Union address last night. What's the timetable for her nomination process?
It is a big deal that we have that timeline now, Alan, and it's coming up mid-March. The opening statements from Judge Jackson and the senators on this Senate Judiciary Committee will happen Monday, March 21st. Then the senators will be able to question Judge Jackson over 2 days, that Tuesday and Wednesday, March 22nd, 23rd. Then on the Thursday, there'll be some outside witnesses, often people who know the judge, know the nominee, and somebody from the American Bar Association, among others. So you've got 4 days of a confirmation hearing, and it's happening roughly a month after the president announced the nomination. That's the timetable. It's also worth underscoring both California senators are on the Judiciary Committee. They'll have that public platform to ask their questions, make their opening statements, and I'm told they'll get to meet informally with the judge before the hearings begin. That's not true for all senators, but both California senators will get access in the coming days.
I was going to ask you before all of this formal process, does she meet with the senators, kind of a one-on-one? What do we know about that?
In fact, that began this afternoon, where she met with what we call the Big Four: the Senate Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, the Senate Democratic leader, the Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer, and the top 2 senators on the Senate Judiciary Committee. Again, that's the committee that has jurisdiction over a Supreme Court nomination. They gave us photo ops of the final moments of some of those meetings today, but no access to the judge to ask our questions. That doesn't happen with Supreme Court nominations. One of the senators who had the meetings, Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, the chair of the Judiciary Committee, said he'd like to open up this hearing to the public. Now, this Capitol complex remains closed to visitors due to COVID. He'd like to, but doesn't have the authority to, open it up, thinking, though, that there's some appetite, perhaps a large appetite from the public, to see this historic moment, this historic nomination, and watch the hearings in person.
Now, you mentioned California senators. Dianne Feinstein is dealing with the recent death of her husband, Senator Alex Padilla. He's actually quarantined today with COVID. So is that going to play into this timeline at all?
It's certainly going to delay the meetings they'd have with Judge Jackson, perhaps later in that window between now and March 21st. Going back and forth with Senator Padilla's office today, trying to get some feedback. Obviously, they say he's excited by the prospect of the nomination and the meeting. And in a statement, they said the Senate will undertake a fair and timely process to consider this nomination. Senator Padilla says Judge Jackson is an exceptional and highly qualified jurist. The California votes are not in question here. Ultimately, it's going to come down to, can they get about a half dozen Republicans to vote yes? The chair of the Judiciary Committee says there may be 6 Republicans in play. That's the variability as we approach the confirmation hearing.
Very good. Well, Scott MacFarlane, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.